I believe that this is the fastest way to level a Shadow. And why Shadow? Well, because Surfcaster is probably the fastest and probably most fun Ascendancy in this upcoming event. So in the past, I've usually leveled my Shadow characters, at least recently, with Cobra Lash in a Peaconk. And this is because Cobra Lash is sort of the strongest Act 1 skill, pound for pound, just in general. It's got great double dipping damage nodes for both Fizz and Chaos damage at the start of Shadow. It's got automatic, kind of mid tier, at least clear with the built-in chain for the skill, got a fast animation time, built-in poison chance, just a great skill to be using, although it does struggle with single target a little bit, especially at Merville and beyond. Now usually I'd swap into Peaconk, Poisonous Concoction, however that does have its downsides. This run, however, I decided to use Blade Trap, and the reason I did this was because, well, Blade Trap's just broken. It's got absurd numbers, just terrible clear. There's three main benefits to using this setup instead of Peaconk. Firstly, it scales much better with Envy from the Servant of Aracali Ascendancy. I think regardless of what you want to play late game on a Shadow, you tend to probably want to start out with Servant of Aracali and start with that Envy node early on, because it gives you something like 5 to 10 times more damage when you first allocate that node. Secondly, using a fully claw-based setup instead of Peaconk allows you to clear with both Venom Gyre or Cobra Lash. I opt for Gyre after I get Whirling Blades in level 12, I just think it feels really good. Thirdly, you get to avoid that downside of flask consumption from Peaconk. So this run was overall paced for a 56-minute Act 3. I did equip the Envy enchant after I finished Slab, just to see what the damage would look like. But this build actually understates, or at least the demonstration understates the damage I'd have, because this is not using Skitter bots, I wasn't using Withering Step, and I think I also failed to use Despair on the Piety kills. So just an absolutely absurd setup. And for your guys' benefit, I'll briefly just go over the POB and what I'm thinking in terms of gear. And you can start out here in the Shadow Tree and path over to Coordination. There's two ways to go from here. Sometimes I opt for going topside 2-point physical and then taking sleight of hand. Sometimes I'll opt for going trickery. It sort of depends on how I'm feeling just on that particular day. I do think that going for this stuff later tends to be a little bit better. And the reason why this looks like this now is because later, once you swap into a more chaos-based setup, you'd unspec these two nodes and go for this. But you could also go for this early. After this, Fangs the Viper is a great early game node. You'd have this in Act 1, having Moon Speed is really strong. And usually I'd path through here, but instead for this, because I'm staying dual building claws, I path down towards the claw attack speed nodes and Life Raker. Super high value, allows you to skip precision as well. And this inherent attack speed bonus from dual building is really great because it basically gives you just 10% more attack speed, I think. Which is just great because all you really need is speed if you have enough damage, right? And we do because Blade Trap. Blade Trap also benefits from dual wielding, gives you +1 rotation, so that's super strong. After this, I path over towards this side and I grab the Poison Chance nodes. I think that this 300% mastery is really good to maintain your XP. The moment you get it, your clear gets much better and your XP gets a lot better. And then after this, I path up towards the Claw Mastery and the attack speed from here. Again, Whirling Blaze attack speed is king. From here, there's a little bit more flexibility. I like to get a little bit of life entering kind of Act 3, Act 4, that sort of time. And then instead of actually going for multi-shot right away, I instead path down towards these two attack speed wheels. Pierce is also kind of nice. I think that I played without it, I played with it. It feels kind of similar, but that's that. And then finally, life nodes. After this, I think you do have enough damage with this sort of tree to just carry through the rest of the game because of how strong Envy is. And you kind of just want to think about what build you're transitioning into. The envisioned POB I have in my head for this particular character is a Bama Aracali character, and it's like probably like 60% chance what I'll be starting. Gem start real quickly. Venom Gyre, GMP-GV, Void Manip. Pretty straightforward stuff here. Early on, this is actually Chance to Poison. I don't think I put it in here. Oh yeah. Early on, this is Venom Gyre or Cobra Lash, Chance to Poison. If you're playing Gyre, you play Lesser of Multiple Projectiles. If you're playing Cobra Lash, you probably go Void Manipulation. BT links are pretty much the same all the way through. Swift, Void, and then once you get level 38 and a fourth link, you want Withering Touch. Really good for Blade Trap. Lets you skip a Withering Step. Though it doesn't really hurt to have this either. Herald of Agony, Skitterbots, Haste. You don't play all three at the same time. If you need more bossing the target, you drop Haste and press the Skitterbots. I don't know when this becomes a thing, but you know if it does, then you can do that. Otherwise, this is my preferred step to go for. Whirling Blaze, faster momentum, and then Frostwing, Despair, Withering Step. Really straightforward stuff, really simple to do. As soon as you get dual wielding claws, it feels really nice. And as soon as you get that first slab, you feel broken until probably, you know, around maps. So yeah, new leveling tech.